Hey, what's up,
Hey,
Archie?
how are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah, yeah. Welcome to the launch, the Trade Like Nick podcast. How's it going?
Man, it's been a long time coming. I've been working on this thing for quite a few years.
Yeah, yeah. Can you tell me about why trading?
Well, first of all, I don't know if people know I'm a math teacher, high school math teacher, and I'm retiring this year. Shout out to Cal Hills, Milpitas, 408. We just graduated the class of 2026. So I've been teaching math for, gosh, almost 20 years. And on the side, I've always been trading options, day trading futures, always trying to figure out like how can I make money? How can I trade, invest, and make money?
Right.
And I lost for 20 years. Like I literally kept on thinking I could do it and I could never overcome the biggest obstacle. You
Right.
know what that was?
What was the biggest obstacle?
What do you think?
Not taking enough risks.
That is, no, I took a lot of risks because I always took risks ever since I was small. So it's not about taking risks. You know what the biggest obstacle is?
Yeah.
Yourself, your own human psychology. Like there are so many times, honestly, there's no lie. If I would have done the opposite of all my trades from day one, I would be a millionaire right now. That's how I went through the school of hard knocks. I made every mistake in the book 10 times over because I'm very stubborn. Like people who know me, my nickname is not again. Like, oh, not again. Oh, you got nicked. Oh, not again. So I finally was able to put it together this past year. So I took all my experience as a trading coach, as a teacher, and I built a framework that's based on math, money management, and your mindset. So it's the 3M framework.
All right.
And so I was like, you know what? This is what I teach in school, in class, and it's all theory, right? Math, it's all theory. But I tell my students, well, you now need to apply it in the real world. Like apply all this math, this probabilities, whatever, put it into the real world, whether it's in investing, trading, or even betting, right? Anything. Life is all about probabilities.
Right.
But if you know how to take the risk, the calculated risk, I teach them, you got to be the house. Don't be the gambler. If you're going to be the gambler, man, I had a student this year. He's like, hey, Mr. Pham. I was like, what? Dude, I got this strategy. Dude, I make hella money. I was like, oh, really? What game? He's like, oh, roulette. And you know about roulette? And I was like, bro, that's got the worst odds. Roulette. He's like, yeah, man. If I see three reds in a row, man, I just bet big on black, black, black. And I was like, bro, the math is not on your side. And so I actually did a lesson. I did a whole lesson on how the casino has the edge mathematically. If there's 36 slots and they give you the two green ones, well, duh, that's two extra slots that the house has in their favor. That's called the house edge. So I told them, I was like, bro, if you want to make money, you got to be the house. Anytime you take a bet or you take a risk, you got to make sure the odds are tilted on your side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's basically what I did. I combined my two passions with math and options, which is just a math formula. And I created what's called the wealth equation.
What's the wealth equation?
Ooh, I thought you never asked. The wealth equation sounds a little crazy. So when I talk about it, people say, bro, you're smoking something.
Okay.
But I think that wealth is just an equation. And it's two parts. The first part is the most important part. You got to have the wealth mindset.
Okay.
All right. What is the wealth mindset? The wealth mindset is knowing that anybody in America can achieve wealth. All right. It's not if you're poor, you don't have money, you need. Today, 2026, the two most powerful rules came together where the opportunity to make money and to actually build wealth starting with as little as $2,000 is actually possible to the everyday person. You know why?
Why is that?
Remember the rule I told you about? What was that rule that just changed?
Oh, they changed the day trading standard, didn't they? That's that you had to have at least 25K in order to enter into day trading, and now that's gone since what, 2 days ago?
Yes,
Yeah.
June 4th, guys.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were not able to participate. So a lot of people, just on the sidelines, you guys just watch the market go up and you're like, man, only the rich can afford this, right?
Right.
Only my money is in a 401k, but I don't even know what's going on. Like, nobody knows how to manage their own money. Nobody knows because they don't teach it to you.
Right.
So I created, you got to have the wealth mindset that anybody can achieve it as long as you have the discipline. Because the mindset is all about being disciplined and being able to trust that the process is going to work out.
So then what do you have to say to people who think that trading stocks and options is like a rich man's game? It's something that's super risky that the everyday person really can't get into.
Yeah, no. You know why?
Yeah, why?
It is risky.
Yeah.
This game, I've lost a lot of money. I've lost over $100,000 playing this game. And I always thought, oh, I got an edge, and I would jump from strategy to strategy, system to system. And what I realized was all the people out there selling courses, and I got sucked in by infomercials back in the day. I mean, people, they say you can make money, but they don't show it. They're not transparent. And what you realize is all these people are making money selling courses, not actually trading.
Right.
So I said, you know what? I'm a math teacher. I'm going to teach you guys, my students, how to take a mathematical approach to the markets and actually make money. Mathematically, you have the edge. And all you have to do is trade small and trade often. And you just got to let the probabilities play out. And I'm like, guys. And then they're like, no way. I was like, I'll show you. All right. You want me to show you with my real money? Like, yeah, fam. Yeah. I was like, all right. So they challenged me to live stream. So I'll live stream it on YouTube, and I'll show you that you could day trade now with as little as $2,000, and you could day trade options, which is the riskiest. If you heard day trading's risky, right?
Right. Right.
Combine that with options trading, which is also risky,
Yeah.
you have probably the riskiest, and that's why 99% of people that actually try to do this, they lose money.
Right.
It just, they go in there, they don't even know what they're doing. They don't know how to use their platform. They don't know how to manage their risks. They don't know how to manage their mindset. And eventually, 99%, the retail money just gets shifted to the rich. It just takes money from the poor and it just gives more to the rich. So I said, you know what? Since I have all this experience, since I finally figured out this opportunity is now available for everybody, I want to empower everybody and show people that wealth is for everyone.
Right.
And not everyone's going to get it. Like, just because I have this equation formula, if you don't have the mindset to actually have the discipline to execute and actually do what's necessary and trust the process and the math, it's not going to work. Because all it takes is one trade to go against you and you don't follow your rules, the whole system breaks, and then you got to start again.
Right.
Because there's trading and there's gambling. And I teach you how to trade without gambling, because luck, it's not luck. It's just math. That's what I stand on, is as a math teacher, something that needs to make sense mathematically. I always say, if the math don't make sense, it don't make dollars.
Are you simplifying the math then for everyone?
Dude, I can teach it. My high school kids can do this.
Okay.
If they can do it, and they're bright kids, anybody, you know what is funny is you take all this math in school, but you never really apply it. Who does geometry or anything like that, right?
Right.
The only math you need to know to build wealth in the markets is this: percentages, because you got to know what's your rate of return. Because if you know the power of compound interest, just increasing your rate of return is powerful. Number two, you have to understand compound interest. Compounding your money, where your money is it's growing bigger like a snowball. It's not linear growth. Linear is when you're just getting paid the same amount every month. Exponential growth is when you actually are multiplying your money by a certain factor, whether it's 10%, 20%.
Right.
And what I figured out was most people think about compound interest in years. Like, oh, how much interest do I get in the bank for 1 year? Or how much did I make in the market this year? What I said was, I don't have years to wait. I don't want to wait 10 years down the line. Why don't I compound my money every month?
Right.
Like, if you really want your money to work for you, you want to compound your money every month, because when I did the reverse engineering of what the wealth formula is, you're like, so how do you know what the wealth formula is? It's very simple. You want to know what it is?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, guys, take a note, put your notepad out. All right, this is wealth formula number 1. You reach financial freedom when your passive income, what's passive income? Income that's money that's making money for you, whether it's real estate, whether it's trading, whether it's Pokemon cards, whatever it is that you could buy low, sell high, or sell high and then buy low. Anything that you can trade, prediction markets, anything these days, right? If you can create a business where you're trading things and you're actually able to be net profit after your trades, whatever it's like 10 trades, whatever trades, right? If you could have a positive expected value, that's equation number 2, folks, write that down. Positive expected value, all right? Where your passive income is greater than your monthly expenses.
Okay.
So let's say you have a mortgage, let's say $3,000, and then you have some bills and you're like, oh man, so what do? We got to work. We got to get a job. We got to exchange our time for money. But the problem with that, you'll never get wealthy doing that, working for somebody.
Right.
Because you only have a limited amount of time. Even if you may get paid like $300 an hour, oh yeah, you're still capped because you can only work so many hours. But if you learn how to make your money work for you, that thing can work 24 hours a day, and it's compounding. So once you learn how to make your money work for you, now you don't have to work for it. And that's true financial freedom, right? You don't have to be at this job that you hate just to pay the bills. If you know how to take ownership over your education, this specialized knowledge, and it's not out there. They don't teach this to you in school. They don't teach this to you anywhere. CNBC, all those channels, they just marketing, they're just trying to sell their own stuff, right? I'm going to teach you step by step what this wealth equation is. And by the end of 30 days, if you do you do the blueprint, and you'll see it in my live stream, you'll be on your path to wealth in less than 12 months.
And actually, going back to time, most beginner traders probably are employed and are working, 8 hours a day. How does trading fit into that lifestyle of still having a job but trying to pick up their trading?
Great question. Great question. So one of the biggest reasons traders fail is there's no clear roadmap, right? Like, where do you go? Do you just go online, YouTube, and just the latest indicator, the latest strategy? There's no like this. I come from an educational background. So like with math, you got to have a strong foundation. Then you go to algebra, geometry, pre-calculus, calculus.
Right.
In trading, it's the same thing. But you know what people do? They start trading without a foundation. They don't know their multiplication. They don't know the foundation is what? Math, your risk management, and your mindset. That's the foundation. Everything I teach is from the bottom up, because I eventually teach you how to trade like the house. But you can't have a strong house if you don't have a strong foundation. Does that make sense? Yeah. So when the times get tough, the market is like an ocean of chaos. When you start to get 3-4 losses in a row and you're starting to question if your system works, if your foundation says the math makes sense, your money management makes sense, and you have the mindset to believe that it makes sense, then you have a higher chance to stick it through. Instead of saying, oh, I'm going to change my rules, or, I'm going to jump to another system, or, you know what, the market just hates me, right?
Right.
you got to be rock solid, just like the Bible, right? If your house is built on sand, when that thing comes, boom, your house is gonna go down. But if it's built on rock,
Yeah.
if it's like something like just rock solid, God, faith, that's why I think trading is like a reflection of your actual life. It's a mirror. Believe it or not, anybody out there, you know what I'm talking about. Because when you lose money, there's nobody to blame but yourself, right?
Right.
And you look in that mirror, you can blame whatever you want, but inside you're like, damn, I just lost money. And what's crazy is you'll lose more money trading than you'll ever lose at the casinos. Because in the casino, you might lose maybe $1,000 on the weekend, right? In trading, you could lose $1,000 in a day, and you don't even feel like it's bad because it's trading, right? But it's actually more risky if you don't know how to manage your money. What if the market tanks all of a sudden? People don't even know how to buy insurance on their portfolio. They don't know how to buy a put option because
Right.
nobody teaches it to them.
Yeah.
And the craziest statistics right here is this: 80% of money managers underperform the S&P 500 index. So whatever the index is doing, you're paying somebody money, a fee, and they can't even match it. Why don't you just put your money in the index, in a SPY, in the SPY, and it just tracks it and you don't have to pay somebody a fee? But yet they charge you a fee and they underperform it. Isn't that like criminal?
I can't believe that. So then I actually then have a question. So beginner traders, then you compared trading to casinos and how it's more risky to even trade. Most of these beginner traders are so scared to get into that risk. What would you say to them to continue trading?
Great question. Man, it's like you did your research. You went into that deep dive, the Wikipedia. Oh, yeah. Okay. So most people, number one, don't know how to view risk. They don't know how to view risk in terms of, okay, yeah, one, you might lose a trade. You might lose 2-3 trades. But if you view risk as something that is the price that you have to pay for an opportunity, then you can think of risk a little bit differently, because you can't get a reward without a risk. That's why if you want to just keep your money, you don't want to take risks, go put it in the bank. Good luck getting wealthy that way, right?
Right.
You're actually risking more because inflation is going to eat away at your bank. So it's like you're already taking risk. And if you don't take the ownership to say, you know what, this is my money, I worked for it, why don't I learn to protect it and grow it? Why do I have to pay somebody who can't even perform index? It doesn't make any sense. So you have to learn how to take risks. And most people don't like to take risks because they don't like to lose. People actually have a larger aversion to losing than actually making money. Like a loss will actually hurt them more than a win.
Right.
And it's crazy because when I was trading, oh man, you know how much money I lost because I didn't want to take a loss?
Right.
Doesn't that sound funny? Like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna hold and wait for it to come back. Like, you know what, give me another day, give it another week, right?
Yeah.
And so then you break all your rules, and all it takes is one big fat loser to take away all the hard winners. Like I worked so hard for all these profitable trades, and then I let my ego, remember I told you the number one obstacle is your ego? Yeah. The ego always got me. So that's why I created this method, because the method removes you from the equation.
Right.
All right.
So then let's actually talk about your method. I know you've talked about all of these different strategies that you have on your educational platform, but if you had to consolidate that into what your method is and why people should come to you, what would that be?
So I call it the wealth accelerator method. And there's two important words in there: wealth accelerator. I have ADHD, so I can't wait around all day. Like I need to see action. So this, you can do wealth, you need to be able to compound monthly. All right, because if you can compound your money monthly, you can really accelerate your wealth. If there's this thing called the rule of 72, I want you guys all to Google that, all right? Rule of 72. Basically, it tells you how fast or how long will it take your money to double through compound interest. And it's based on, it depends on One most important factor, what's your rate of return? So if you earn like a 10% rate of return,
Yeah.
it'll take your money 7.2 years to double. So if you put it in the market and you earn 10% every year, it's going to take you 7.2 years for 10,000 to double to 20,000.
Right.
That's a long time, right? I don't want to wait
Right.
7.2 years for my money to double.
Right.
I got bills to pay now, actually yesterday. But what if I told you you could compound that every month? Because that's how you generate wealth. Any business in America. If you know about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he's a scam, by the way.
Really?
He is a scam. I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I was one of the most gullible. You don't know he's a scam.
No, so many people I know have read his book.
Yeah. No, he has some good advice. But I was in that whole industry where people were just making money selling education, but they don't really teach you. What have you learned from Rich Dad? The 4 quadrants, right?
Right, yeah.
The only thing that you need to know, I'll summarize the entire book in 30 seconds. There's 4 quadrants. You could be in the employer. You can't get rich there. You only work 8 hours a day. You could be self-employed, but now you're working for yourself. You only have certain hours. You can't get wealthy in the employed quadrant or the self-employed. The only way you can get wealthy is if you're in the business quadrant or the investing quadrant, right? Because a business is nothing more than something that can generate monthly income, right? Your income is greater than your expenses, you got a monthly profit. Make
Right.
sense? Just like trading. If your passive income is greater than your expenses, you're free. Now, the other quadrant is trading, investing, but nobody teaches that to you, right? What if I told you, why don't you accelerate the entire process by making your business and trading, combine those two together and make trading your business? Now you're making your money work for you and you're treating it like a business where you get write-offs, you get special tax treatment. And trust me, guys, nobody tells you guys this, but one of the biggest ways to save money is to pay less taxes. And if you want to save on taxes, you need to have your own business.
Right.
Whether it's an LLC, it doesn't even have to be a legit, like, profitable business, because you could have, my business was in the negative, in the red, 5 years, maybe actually a little longer, right?
Right.
Because I've been trying to do this for a long time. But you know how much money it saved me in taxes? Like, all the expenses I was able to deduct. Well, that's a whole nother thing. So that's part of the wealth equation is, for me, people always say this, oh, what about taxes? If I make money, what about taxes, right? And I say, number one, it's a good problem. You made money, so you have to pay taxes. People that lose money, they don't have to pay any taxes, all right? So that's a good problem to have. But number two, you can't compound it if you got to pay taxes on your gains all the time, right?
Right.
So I wonder, how could we grow our money without it being taxed? And if I'm day trading it, am I going to pay? Guess what? They created a vehicle for that. Did you know that?
No, what is it?
It's called a Roth IRA.
Right.
It's called a 401k. You could grow your money tax-free at 59 and a half. You take all that money, boom, cash-free. You've already paid taxes on it. And as you're doing these trades throughout the day, throughout the week, and you're going in and out, you never have to pay taxes. You never have to pay taxes. You only pay taxes, well, you've already paid it with your pre-money. So that's the key that most people don't understand, is they don't understand the power of a tax-free, a place where you could put your money and then trade it and invest it and not have to pay taxes. Like, if you know the power of that, that's the only way compound interest works.
Yeah.
Because if you compound your money other ways, you always got to pay taxes on it. And so you're taking 3 steps forward, then boom, I got to take taxes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you do it without, boom, that should be tip number 1. Write that down. Okay.
So then, is this something you're going to be helping beginner traders like walk through step by step? Are they going to be seeing your platform and how you're trading on the daily? It's like, how is this going to work for them?
Yes. So, number 1, I developed this system. I wish something like this was available when I was starting out. So I said, you know what? All the 20 years of losing and figuring out on my own, and finally, meeting Tom Sosnoff, who Thinkorswim, Charles Schwab, the whole shebang. He's the one that I met, and he's influenced me by far the most. Not just him personally, but just his teachings.
Right.
Because he teaches online through Tasty Trade. He does all these things, and he really shifted the mindset of traders from being buyers of things to having the seller's mindset.
Right.
Because if you can sell premium, in other words, insurance on stock, people don't know that you could sell insurance on stock. Did you know you can sell?
No.
It's called selling a put option on a stock.
That's the put option?
Yes, and when it expires, and let's say your stock doesn't get into an accident, guess what? I just collected that month. Whatever it costs you to pay for that insurance, I put it in my pocket. So now I teach you to be your own one-person insurance company. And remember when I told you the wealth mindset? You got to think like the wealthy. The two wealthiest companies in the world are insurance companies
Right.
and casinos. Why? Because it's not luck.
Right.
It's just math. They already have a math equation. I created the math equation, the same template that they use. I just used it for the stock market through options and just selling options on the market, which is the SPX, the most liquid market in the world. Like millions and millions of people are trading SPX options. And if not SPX options, they're trading a derivative of that, which is like XSP, SPY, SPYM, futures, ES, MES. You know, all those things that I just said right there, they all have the exact same chart. They're all the same chart. They just use different leverage. They just use different ways that you could trade it, but it's the exact same chart. Most people are blown away by that because now that you have all these different ways to trade the market, now it can fit whatever goals or objectives you have. Because let's say, oh, I don't have a lot of money. Well, instead of trading the SPX, you could trade the XSP.
Right.
It's 1/10 the size. You want to trade the SPY. You could risk honestly like $50 to make like 100. Like you could actually trade with small amounts because they have all these products that allow you to do that.
All right. So then I had another question. Why do you think that so many traders fail then?
So one, there's no roadmap.
Right.
Two, their ego.
Right.
Oh, I got this. But you know what? When the majority of traders make money, you know what the biggest mistake is? They mistake luck for skill. They think they picked the right stock. It was luck. The entire market's been on a bull market for the last 10 years. You could close your eyes. A monkey could just pick the stocks. It would go up. We're at all-time highs, 7,600, right?
Right.
I don't care. You think it's because you were so smart that you picked NVIDIA and you picked Apple? Well, anybody could have picked all these stocks. They all go up.
Right.
If the index is going up, it's going to lift all the other stocks with it. So it's not you that's smart. So there's no roadmap. There's no blueprint. And that's where I feel like as a coach, I can provide that for you. Because if I already know the roadmap and what it takes, why am I going to take you on this roadmap that's going to be like my journey? Like my journey was the roadmap, but it was like this.
Right.
What I did was, okay, well, if I know that this is where I'm at, this is where I want to be, and I already know the straight path, I'm going to give it to you. That's why I said I could teach this to anybody in 30 days. Like, it's kind of crazy that you're like, what, you could teach me all this in 30 days? Yes. Trading is simple,
Right.
but it's not easy.
So then there's so many different educational platforms, like you just talked about Tasty Trade. Like what sets you apart from the rest of them? Like you have this 30-day idea, right? But like, why should everyone come to you to talk about trading?
Well, Tasty Trade and Thinkorswim, those are trading platforms that they execute the trades, right? They're brokers. I'm teach you the education. So number one, my life path has made me have this specialized knowledge of like math and options trading. So, and I was a trading coach actually for these two companies called InvestTools and Optionetics, which eventually got bought out by Thinkorswim and Charles Schwab and TD Ameritrade. So I've all been under these umbrellas. And so from that experience, I was able to just simplify it. Because with me and my ADD, if there's too many rules and there's too many ways for me to get in trouble, if I don't keep it simple,
Right.
stupid, then it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So I just was able to do it in a way where I can give you the education. I can help you master the tools of the trade. A lot of people, they get the education, these people, they learn how to trade, but they don't even know how to master the trading platform. They don't even know what a stop loss order is or a one cancels other bracket order. Like, how do you define your risk if you don't know where your stop is, right? Like, so I teach them the education, master the tools, and then I give them step-by-step guidance, the support, so that when you place these trades in a paper trading platform, you know, okay, did I put the right market order in? Did I put my stop loss in? Whatever. So I'm there with you every step of the way. So I do all three: education, tools, coaching, and I give you the roadmap. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. And then, like I said, I want to be somebody that walks the walk. So that's why I'm live streaming. That's why I'm showing it. And if you guys want to like help support me in this journey, you know, I appreciate all the support and love.
All right. Thank you, Nick. We'll see you next time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you. I
right.
think that was a
Thank
good
you. Yeah, it
episode.
was.
First episode.
All right.
All right. Thank you.